Welcome to the next episode of WaterparkRangers Let's Play Pikmin. In the last episode, we defeated Emperor Bulbulax and got all of our ship parts back. And in this episode, we are good to go with our Dolphin complete, which means that we can leave the Pikmin planet. But as you probably guessed, that means Olimar's to leave all the Pikmin behind. Which is kind of sad, because they're going to have to fend for themselves somehow, and they're not really the brightest bunch if they don't have a leader. But it's been fun. And it had to come to an end at some point. I mean, this isn't a particularly long game. Still one of my favorites, though. So, kinda sad to see it over. Now watch, this is pretty awesome. Only point in the series where the Pikmin actually take the initiative to jump on this huge Bulborb by themselves and finish it off. Or at least chase it off. Which is pretty amazing. And in case you're wondering, yes, the spotty Bulborb is what appears at night here, because there really are no other enemies in the area that would go after it themselves. Sort of like the impact site. And now check this out. Look at all these different colors of onions. There's like a cyan one, a black or brown one, kind of a golden one, maybe that's yellow, a green one, a pink one, a black one down there. So there are actually tons of different colored onions on the Pikmin planet, and apparently we only found a couple of them. And also, if you look carefully, there are actually doubles of some of the onions there. Which means basically that there could be more than one onion of the same color. So we might have just found a red onion, or a yellow onion, or a blue onion. There could be others. Ambiguous endings are always kind of awesome that way. But one thing's for sure, we've escaped, and we have gotten every single ship part. And now we have an extra little analysis screen to prove it. It shows general records and stuff from the playthrough. So it took 14 days to get all the parts. 617 Pikmin survived, which is actually not too good for me because usually I grow more. And apparently I lost a lot more than I usually do. So here are all the ships. The blue ones, the ones at the end, are highlighted in blue because you don't need them to escape. All the others are necessary. And that's all for the analysis. The analysis is much longer in Pikmin 2, because it's a little bit more in-depth about some things. And now we have the credits. They kind of scroll on the surface of the planet there. And I don't think it does this in Pikmin 2. No, it does something different for Pikmin 2. Shigeru Miyamoto, he knows this stuff. So now it's just showing cutscenes from the game and stuff that happened. That's the beginning there where we got hit by the meteor. Which was such a long time ago, really. And all the ship parts scattered away. Map design. Some of the maps in this game can be difficult to navigate. So if you get lost, think Makoto Miyanaga. And there's Olimar waking up. Kei Miyamoto. No, can't be related. There we go. And there's Pikmin. Oh, the music. I love the music in this game. The composer's really good. I think he also does the music for Star Fox, though I'm not certain of that. And the support team just went by. Those are always the American sounding names, or English sounding names. So there's our red and yellow onions. And of course, this is not footage from actual gameplay that we played, because we didn't do so badly against the Bulborb as you saw there. Debug. We were kind of like the debuggers ourselves with all the enemies we killed in this game. And there's a ship getting fixed up right there. For the first time with the engine. Special thanks. I kind of wish they'd thank me. I mean, I played the game. Then again, really, it's only the Mother series that does that. But that's one of its awesome quirks. Maybe some other games that I've never heard of, too. Well, that does it for the credits, but there is a little bit more. We do get a special little ending kind of bonus because we got all the ship parts. And you don't get this any other way. And it basically goes over all the enemies in the game in alphabetical order. Starting with the Armored Cannon Beetle, who you probably remember. And no, this is not us playing, obviously. This migrant lithopod has developed a stronger carapace than its relatives. As you can see in the background where the radiation canopy should be, there's like a crushed can. It's because these are actually beta versions of some of the levels in the game. Which might explain why some of the character models just don't look quite as fluid as they do in this version. See, look, a ton of honey wisps in that area of the forest navel. That's not in the original, or I should say the version that I have. I'm not going to read all these descriptions either, because I kind of want to go over the details in the levels here. See, look, you can barely see it, but in the background there's a bridge. And that's like a beta version of a bridge before they figured out that they were going to use sticks. It looks more metallic in structure. There's another chance, where you can see it. A blue candy pot bud here that doesn't normally appear. There's also bulborbs in the distant spring. There should be bull bears. He says it's the next step in Pikmin evolution, and that actually comes into play in the second. So, you can wait for that, and it'll be pretty interesting. You can barely see it, but there's a Mamuda way back in the background. They don't appear in the distant spring. Also, we never fought these guys, because they appear from day 15 onwards. I'll have to do something about that so I can show you actual footage of them. See, more bulborbs in distant spring. They belong to a totally different species. I refuse to believe that. If they scream and wake up the big ones, then they must be its young. It's kind of like calling the sheargrubs termites. It's something that I just have to... It's a theory of mine that I will stand by. Stand by your convictions and fight like a pirate! Oh boy. Yeah, the fire stuff is pretty gruesome in this game. Didn't notice anything too different about that screen there. And now this is weird. This guy's shown out of order. The swooping snitch bug is shown out of order. I'm guessing it was some kind of glitch caused by just how annoying this enemy can generally be. And the Gulix, this is really weird. Look, there's a bulborb also. None of this stuff appears in the forest navel. Though the Gulix really doesn't look too out of place here. I mean, it's weird, just like the rest of the level. And now we have honey wisps in the distant spring, which is different. Also, you can see the water pretty clearly behind the level. It's just a lot more clear for some reason in the beta version. Makes it less mysterious, though, so I guess it's good that they changed it a bit. Also, there's the extraordinary bolt randomly in the water there, whereas it was normally in the Forest of Hope. What's next? Mamuda. Yep, there it is. Nothing's too different except, you know, that there's a Mamuda here when there shouldn't be. I'm guessing they kind of just placed the enemies in the level so they could test them out and then use them for this kind of footage. The camera angles that they're showing are also generally kind of different. And as you remember, pearly clan clamps don't really appear in this level, though they don't look out of place. They're really more out of place in the impact site. Though apparently 10% of all clams in the real world are actually live in dry environments, which I didn't know until recently. Pellet posy. Well, yeah, I guess there's nothing wrong with this one either. Nor this, except for the fact that the guy's doing a horrible job at fighting it. They're all gonna get turned into mushroom Pikmin. I wouldn't eat it. You'd grow like a mushroom out of your head. You'd get mushroomized, like an Earthbound. Oh boy. Yeah, nothing too different about this. There was actually a puffy bullowhog right here that we fought in one of the episodes. I think episode 18? Something like that. I'd be surprised if I got that right. Awesome. Synchronized shear grubs. This is just slightly different because to me it appears like those shear grubs are appearing in the general area where you find the yellow Pikmin. Shearwigs. Yeah, they say the females are underground. I don't know. They've never been revealed in the series yet. Oh, Smoky Prog. Well, you know what the deal with him is. But the interesting thing is also in the Burrowing Stagger description, they mention the Burrowing Snarrow, which is also another enemy which is only mentioned, but never really appears. So it's kind of interesting stuff. Maybe we'll see in Pikmin 3 if Pikmin 3 is good. I mean, it could be good without them, but I kind of hope it'll, you know, answer some of these questions. Alright. This is pretty awesome. Watch the Bulborb. Its head, like, extends toward the screen. It's in 3D! Whoa! I kind of wonder if they're going to make a Pikmin 3DS. It would be sort of weird, because personally I think... I'm not saying that 3DS is bad graphics, and god, this guy's doing a horrible job of fighting the water dumples, but I think it would be more suited for the Wii, just because it needs to look more complete and realistic. Because that's what Pikmin has always kind of been about. looking bizarre, but kind of photogenic. No, that's not the right word. Whatever. Yeah, there are wogpoles in Distant Spring, but they don't appear until day 15. They don't really turn into yellow wollywogs, so don't worry. And the analog computer is there for some reason, which is weird. Usually it's the antidoxin filter. And another beta bridge in the background, as well as a bulborb. And a lot more yellow wollywogs. Actually, same amount, just in different places. After you play the game enough, you start to recognize these differences. Plus, when you beat the game and get all 30 parts, you don't just get the end, you get the happy end with the little bouncing pink letters. Huh, well, that does it for this Let's Play. And actually, no, it doesn't. I'm planning to do a little bonus feature where I run over some stuff in the game that people generally don't pay attention to just because they don't get around to doing it, so I'll see you then.